So, hi.
Hi, so I'm John. Constance, we logged in with Constance and signed up for your, I think your email with Constance. That's her.
Hi, Constance.
Hi. So we
All
were
right.
at NS9 and
Cool.
just,
So, I've got this Samantha. I thought I was promoting Samantha.
well, okay. Then by all means, if you'd like to do that, go ahead.
No, I'm fine doing this. I just didn't. I mean, uh, okay. Anyway, did you want to be profiled tonight, John?
Well, that's the hot seat, right? Sure.
Okay, I'm going to keep yours as tight as I possibly can,
Okay.
and not
Okay.
wander off too much because I've got other people that have had their hands up as well. Okay, so real quick, tell me a little bit about yourself and and what you want to be profiled on.
Okay. Well, I'm married to Constance here. We've been married about 41 years. We've got two grown sons. I spent most of my career in a family business, and that was growing citrus here in Central Florida. And industries changed, times changed, that went away, and I've been kind of working on finding a new definition of what I do since then. I had a couple of years in a corporate setting, Fortune 500, and it grew an incredible amount in that period. I didn't know that I could thrive in that, and I've kind of been in a small setting and considered myself shy and somewhat an introvert. And I found that I did very well in that very active environment, interacting with a lot of people. Got laid off and found EMP a couple months into my job search process. And so
Nice.
so
who would you like to be profiled on?
It's everything you've been talking about tonight. You know, finding I deal with when in dealing with EMP and starting this business and making it work with a network marketing company. I feel like everything's starting from scratch, and it's overwhelming. All the things I need to learn. I feel like I'm kind of stuck in this perpetual learning mode.
Yep.
And like I've never got quite enough either authority or knowledge to really implement and have a clear idea of what to do next, and break down that complication into complexity, at least.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So, John, did you ask the question about is Blair's current reaction to his recovery possibly also a why? Was that your John? No. Oh, okay.
No. I'm showing up in your window as Constance.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Okay. Yeah, in my window here, but I was just anyway. I'll leave it alone. So, you would like to be profiled on specifically? Sort of say that again. Sorry, I just got distracted slightly.
Okay, so it's narrowing down all of the many things that I can do, and all of the overwhelm of all the skill sets that are needed in order to make the online marketing and network marketing and leading a team and all of that whole big process, breaking that down into actionable steps and prioritizing them. One of the things that I've always had trouble with is prioritizing. Everything seems to be a high priority.
Okay. So one of the things that you're not doing is you're holding everything urgent and not separating between urgent and important. So when you're saying everything's a high priority and your hands are up in the air and it's all there, it's all urgent, it's all got to be done now. And so you're adding a lot of emotion as opposed to stepping back and saying, what is my desired result? Where am I going? Okay.
Mhm.
And getting a clear focus on that desired result and going everything else aside, what is my straightest path to that desired result? And it's back to the IBR, which I really have to get at some point, teach in depth here, but intention, behavior, result. And so going through that is your intention is not to slow yourself down while you don't have a clear intention, but you have a goal, a clear goal, but not a, I would argue, not a clear result, desired result that you want, because goals are like playing horseshoes and hand grenades. Desired results are like playing darts. Okay, it's either in the bullseye or it's not. If it hits the wire, it doesn't go in. You know, it's not in. It's just that simple. Whereas horseshoes and hand grenades, yeah, you got close. That's okay. I sort of won. So I'm a big proponent of playing darts with these things and getting a desired result. So you can identify what that desired result is. And when you identify what the desired result is, you found a process here. EMP has the process of what are the steps necessary to walk you through a process. You have to put in the time, which you're capable of doing and doing to some degree. You also have to test. You're not your language pattern is that you like the idea of testing. You're not always clear right now on what you're testing for what purpose yet, but it's starting to come together. It's not totally mud, but it's not totally crystal clear either. So you're in that middle zone. And unfortunately, the middle zone is all about data collection. And you've got to collect the data. And you, over time, have relied a lot on your experience and turned it into sort of a subconscious, not intuitive, but almost more gut response, yet you're a logical guy. So this gut logic, I'm going to refer to it as, is not well named and labeled. So you have the feeling of what it is that you're doing, and it's not always as consistently identified. So it sort of muddies the water a bit and doesn't let things get clear. The clearer you get with naming and labeling what it is that you're doing, and last week, were you on last week?
Yes.
Okay, so naming and labeling. It's go back to naming and labeling and just start figuring out what parts of that process do you understand, because they have those things named and labeled out for you inside of EMP, and they actually walk you through that process and identify where you're at in that process. But now you also have to learn how to identify the process itself. What EMP teaches, Elite Marketing Pro teaches, is the process of being able to run campaigns, not the tactics, not the full-on. Some of it is very tactical, don't get me wrong, but what it requires you to do is for you to integrate through a process, through a set of activities, how to understand the tactics so that when you see a market shift, you can actually change. Okay? You can adapt. And you're not there yet in your language pattern. You're looking for more certainty than anything else right now. You just want certainty. And so just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to do.
Yep.
Okay? And I go, this is giving a person a fish. They don't do that. They teach you how to fish, which means you have to learn how to start casting your net so that you can cast it properly. Okay? And that's the critical part.
Get your hands dirty.
You gotta. There's no other way. There's no other way to do it. And so you start seeing it, and then you course correct. Okay?
Okay.
And that's the critical piece. And you're not giving yourself time to course correct. You're wanting it fast. You're wanting it faster. How long have you been doing EMP?
I started last August, went through November, and then wasn't getting results right away, and kind of felt like the results weren't living up to the promise of, so some people get this within the first 30 days, they're profitable and blah, blah, blah. And then life happened, and I had to shift my focus. So I sort of put it on the back burner until coming to NES 9. And that was kind of a chance to decide, okay, am I going to stick with this, or am I going to, find something different?
Okay. So here's what I'd say is, like, it matters that you got to stay consistent with this. You got to put in the time and effort to find the data, especially their model using Facebook marketing. It's got to be done consistently over time. Not a lot of money, but it's got to be consistent over time, so that Facebook's algorithm starts learning who you are and that you're a long-term player, and it starts building over time. And I'm right there with you. I've made these same mistakes, and on and off and on and off, and you pay the price. And it's just money out of your pocket, and it goes down the drain, and you don't get the results that you want for it. So I totally get it. But it's a proven model. It does work. It requires ongoing, consistent, persistent responses. You did 4 months in a row, and then more or less threw in the towel. You were right on the cusp of getting it working. Depending on where it is, 30 days is possible if you're lucky. Okay. And there are some people in NES that are lucky. They have those people. The majority are 4 months to 18 months. That's the window. Okay. And I wish they'd state that more clearly on an ongoing basis. They usually say something like, we can't predict how long it's going to take you. Everybody's stuff is different, But the reality is, the average, that when I talk to people, the reality is, go talk to lots of people at the next NES, or I did. And I the next time you go out there, and you'll find this pattern starts emerging. How long did it take before? Well, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Well, a year. 18 months. But by the time you hit 18 months, you're in, and it's working. And 9 to 18 months is like, you're probably building into a 6-figure business in 9 to 18 months. It may not build as fast as you want. And I've heard people, I got a 5-figure business and it just wasn't building fast enough, so I'm getting out. I'm throwing in the towel. Well, hello, how long did it take you to get a career that got you that kind of money? Exactly. So, whatever. You can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink.
Right.
Okay. So.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Hopefully that was effective for you.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. I'm going to buy your course next.
Great.
I'm going to buy your course next.
Oh, cool. Yes. So, somebody put that up in there, and it's the order page right there.
That was me.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, right. Constance. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Constance.
You're welcome. I do great work.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, totally. Okay. Well, I'm going to return you back to attendee role.
Thank you
and
so much.
I'm going to answer. I think this is probably John Sue's question. And I think John is on here still. Is Blair's current reaction to his recovery possibly also a why? You know what? My reaction is actually a very excited what I did And my reaction was a what? What I actually started doing was I started drifting into a why that was a judgment, a self-judgment of mine. So yes, I went from actually, technically, it's a why disguised as a what. So I haven't taught you guys question concepts, and you really have to know this to be able to get into it, but it's one of the courses that I'll be offering fairly soon, and that is, question concepts. It's really the pivotal piece of everything that's there. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but the short answer is it was a disguise. All question concepts can be disguised as all other question concepts in terms of the name. The names are who, what, when, where, why, and how. Those are just the names of the concepts. And you can disguise a what as a why as a what, a who as a where, even. That was a tough one to do, but I've done it once. But you can do who as a why and a why as a who. So, all of those are interchangeable in terms of the words. The concepts, however, are not interchangeable. They are the concept. So did you catch me in a disguised what, why? The answer is yes, you did, John. So asked and answered, there you go. Hopefully that worked for you. Okay.